Having grown up with his every move being followed, Prince William was determined to spend his student years away from the media spotlight and without the trappings of royal life. The ancient town of St Andrews on the east coast of Scotland seemed the perfect choice. Small, remote, and with a close-knit student community. It also laid claim to being Britain's top matchmaking university.
It is, in winter, a kind of dreich place, meaning grey and rainy and wet and cold. But it's also quite a magical place, because it has the ruins of the cathedral, it has the old buildings of the university, it has the golf course, which is world famous, the Royal and Ancient. It is a magical place where people can find the love of their lives. William's main concern was the size of the swimming pool because he was into water polo at the time. And I was able to assure him that St Andrews had a decent-sized swimming pool. I also informed him that St Andrews was full of beautiful and very bright young women, and I'm sure that's what clinched it.
The small university town of St Andrews had never seen anything like it. Prince William greeted like a local hero as he arrived with his father.
It was hoped that after the initial excitement of his arrival, the media would leave William to study in peace.
There was an agreement, a gentleman's agreement between the palace and the press, that they would leave him alone to study without endless intrusion from paparazzi photographers.
You know, when we did this agreement, I never thought it would stick, because I know the British media, and they can't help themselves. But I suspect that they did have the memory of Diana in their minds, and of her tragic end, and of the way she had been constantly hounded by the paparazzi. I don't think the British media wanted another Diana on its hands.
This historic agreement between the palace and the press meant that William would have the chance to spend his university years as just another student, albeit a very famous one.
He's a very normal, very down-to-earth kind of guy, and you know, he's sort of easily mistaken for just being another sort of one of your mates, which he was, really. His sort of position and his title didn't really mean anything. He was just one of the lads.
I do all my own shopping. You know, I go out, get takeaway, you know, do rent videos, go to the cinema, just basically anything I want to, really, I can go to.
William would spend his first year living in St Salvator's halls of residence, known locally as Sally's, and it was here that he and Kate Middleton would finally meet.
I was in the room next door to Kate's in first year on the girls' floor corridor in Sally's. I think the first thing that any of us noticed about her was just how attractive she was. She was known as Beautiful Kate almost from day one. Everyone gets their nicknames in hall, and yeah, she was Beautiful Kate.
The first time they met was on their way down to breakfast. The students would take breakfast in a canteen. William was part of a clique called the Sally's Boys, several friends from Eton and friends that he'd made at St Andrews, and he'd noticed this gorgeous girl come in for breakfast, and eventually he plucked up the courage to invite Kate to join him and the Sally's Boys.
I actually went bright red when I met you and sort of scuttled off, feeling very shy about meeting you, but it did take a bit of time for us to get to know each other, but we did become very close friends from quite early on.
I think she did stand out because she was the only girl sort of selected to be in this kind of privileged group of William and his Eton friends.
I think there were girls at St Andrews who had sort of planned in the back of their minds this sort of fairy tale thing that they were going to meet Prince William and then get together with him and then end up marrying him, and I'm sure there were girls like that. I don't think Kate was one of them at all.
We were friends for over a year first, and it just sort of blossomed from then on. We just spent more time with each other and had a good giggle, had lots of fun and realised we shared the same interests and just, had a really good time.
In terms of, their social life, they went to some of the more upmarket bars in St Andrews. Mabel's was a popular drinking location for them. I can remember Kate having to be carried back to her room by one of the Eton boys because she couldn't walk and she was drunk. And on another occasion I remember William coming back and falling into a bush outside Sally's and having to be retrieved by his bodyguards, who, rumour has it, went round the hall to retrieve the camera film from people who had been taking photos.
At this stage, though, William and Kate remained just good friends. But they were spending an increasing amount of time in each other's company, and it wasn't long before Kate came to the attention of the press. They may have vowed to respect William's privacy at St Andrews, but they did have their spies.
The first pictures that I got of Prince William and Kate Middleton were coming to the end of their first year at university. I literally bumped into them on the street and went back to my car and got maybe about 30 frames. This caused quite a bit of excitement. Nobody knew who this girl was. There was then considerable interest throughout the press of people trying to find out who she was, what her background was, what her parents did, everything. Nobody really wanted to be the person who said, yeah, we're going to print this. The newspapers didn't publish it.
But just a few weeks later, a photo of William's new friend came along that was simply too good for the tabloids to resist. In March 2002, Kate was asked to be a catwalk model in a student fashion show. Of course, William was keen to go along and show his support.
The fashion show in 2002 was still quite small, so it was being held at the Students' Union. We were involved doing the hair, as we did every year. But the atmosphere backstage was just electric, just everybody heard that Prince William was there.
There was sort of 20 or 30 of us, a big group of people, and we had a few tables and got quite drunk, and it was a great night. Will was there watching, and Kate was up on the catwalk looking amazing and certainly turned quite a lot of heads.
But there was one outfit in particular that would be remembered from that evening. A see-through dress designed by a fashion student.
I had to do coursework based on the brief Art of Seduction, which is quite apt. It was knitted on my knit machine in my then bedroom. Didn't think anything of it then. A couple of years later, I got a call from the organiser of the charity fashion show asking me to submit a few pieces up to St Andrews.
When Kate put on that see-through dress, Charlotte Todd's student design project made fashion history.
Well, she was just gorgeous, She came out and she just did her walk. She had this beautiful elegance.
And suddenly this sort of butterfly emerged from the chrysalis, as it were.
She did the walk. She caught William's eye, and it was like something had just gone off in his brain, and he suddenly noticed that this rather cute, friendly, charming girl who he'd gotten to know over lectures and at breakfast was actually a real hottie.
It shows confidence to show your underwear in front of people, and knowing that a prince is there as well, I think that she may have known what she was doing. And whether she did or not, it worked. So.
For their second year at university, William and Kate shared a house in one of St Andrews' most exclusive streets, renting a top-floor apartment with two other friends. It was here that their romance blossomed. But it would be another 18 months before the relationship was revealed in the press, when the couple were photographed together on a skiing holiday in the Swiss Alps.
There was a picture of William and Kate on the tow bar, and the editor said, Clarence House don't want us to run this picture, but if I find out that these are an item, we're going to run it.
Today's edition of The Sun dedicates its first 5 pages to a story about the Prince's alleged romance with a fellow student. The girl, said to be the Prince's first serious girlfriend, is Kate Middleton. She is a flatmate of the Prince at St Andrews.
There wasn't to be any more denying after that because it was a picture for everyone to see. This was a couple and Wills gets his girl, I think was the headline. And he had, but the truth was, he'd had her for quite a time.
Kate and William graduated from St Andrews a year later.
William Wales.
With some well-known faces in attendance.
The graduation itself was a fairly intense experience because I think, like most young people, you know, the family was there, and I suspect that most folk want their grannies to be at their graduations. It's just in this case, the granny was the Queen.
Catherine Middleton.
Kate's life was going to change unbelievably. She was a sort of a normal girl who went to Marlborough College, and suddenly we knew even then she was going to become one of the most photographed women in the world.